The Serpent Crown of Mesopotamia whispers in the sand for thousands of years. The sands of Mesopotamia have concealed secrets too dangerous to be remembered. Great empires rose and fell. The Sumerians, Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians each leaving behind fragments of stories carved into clay tablets, etched into crumbling walls, and whispered in myths. But among these tales lies one legend darker and more feared than the rest, the Serpent Crown. A relic said to have been forged by gods, stolen by kings, and cursed by demons. A crown that gave absolute power to the one who wore it, but at a price no mortal could bear. This is not just another forgotten myth. Across centuries, scribes, priests, and even conquerors wrote warnings of its existence. And yet, fragments of the story suggest the crown still lies somewhere beneath the ruins of ancient Mesopotamia waiting to be found. The legend of the crown. According to Sumerian myth, the gods created the crown in the time before the flood, when spirits and men walked side by side. The crown was shaped like a coiled serpent, its jeweled eyes carved from stone said to hold the essence of divine fire. Whoever wore it, they believed, could speak with the gods themselves and command the loyalty of every creature, human or otherwise. But there was a catch. The crown was alive. The serpent, though made of gold and stone, was said to whisper into the mind of its wearer, promising power while slowly corrupting the soul. Many kings, it was said, went mad within weeks of wearing it, becoming tyrants who demanded blood sacrifices to appease the Chronicles hunger. In one Akkadian tablet, translated in the early 20th century, a chilling line was found: the king wore the serpent, and the serpent wore the king. The myth tells us that the gods, furious at Menkanda's arrogance, sent storms and earthquakes to destroy the city where the crown was last worn. The crown itself, however, was never destroyed. Instead, it vanished swallowed by the desert sands. Modern curiosity. Fast forward to the early 1900s. Explorers and archaeologists scoured Mesopotamia in search of treasures. Among them was a German archaeologist, Ernst Keller. In 1912, while working near the ruins of Uruk, Keller claimed to have found a series of clay tablets that referenced a crown of the serpent. His notes, recovered decades later, describe strange markings. Crown lies where the river bends no more. Buried beneath the city of the dead kings. But before Keller could publish his findings, his entire camp vanished during a sandstorm. Local Bedouin who later searched the site said no trace of the expedition remained. To this day, Keller's disappearance is one of Mesopotamia's great unsolved mysteries. Yet his notebooks smuggled back to Europe by an assistant reignited whispers of the Chronicles existence. The expedition of 1999. Almost a century later, in 1999, a team of Iraqi archaeologists led by Dr. Layla al-Samar set out to study newly uncovered ruins in the southern desert. Among the artifacts they found were inscriptions eerily similar to those Keller had described. One tablet even mentioned the Ukush serpentis o crown of the snake. Layla's journal, later leaked to the press, contained disturbing entries. In one, she wrote, heard sounds last night like hissing from within the sealed chamber. At first, we thought it was the wind. But the others swear it was a voice. Within days, her team abandoned the dig site. Official reports claimed rising instability in the region forced their retreat. But those who worked with her whispered of something else: hallucinations, violent arguments, even nightmares that spread through the camp. Dr. Layla herself disappeared shortly after leaving Iraq. Some say she went into hiding. Others believe she was silenced. The forbidden chamber, what, then, is the truth? Historians now believe that both Keller and Layla stumbled upon the same buried city, the city of Kishari, once ruled by a forgotten Akkadian king known only as Etana the Serpent-Bound. Ancient chronicles describe Etana as a ruler who rose from obscurity, united warring tribes, and built a city of impossible wealth. His sudden power was attributed to the Serpent Crown, which he supposedly unearthed in a cave beneath the Euphrates. But Etana's reign ended in madness. Records say he began sacrificing his own subjects, feeding the blood to the Serpent Crown. His city was struck by a massive sandstorm that buried it entirely. Scholars debate whether this was a natural disaster or an act of divine wrath. To this day, local Bedouin refuse to camp near the supposed ruins. They speak of shadows moving under the dunes, of hissing carried on the wind, and of glowing eyes that watch travelers at night. Why the crown still haunts us, you may ask. If this is only myth, why does the Serpent Crown still haunt our imagination? The answer lies in fragments of history. Throughout the ages, objects of immense power, whether real or symbolic, have always shaped civilizations. The Ark of the Covenant, the Spear of Destiny, the Black Stone of Mecca, all carry legends of divine or supernatural origin. The Serpent Crown fits into this pattern. It may have been a real artifact, perhaps even a ceremonial headdress that gained terrifying reputation over time. Or perhaps it was something more, something no archaeologist dares admit. What makes the legend compelling is that unlike many myths, it refuses to die. From Keller in 1912, to Layla in 1999, to whispered sightings as recently as 2018, the Serpent Crown continues to appear in accounts that defy dismissal. One chilling testimony came from a shepherd near Nasiriyah, who claimed he found a golden coil half buried in the sand. He brought it home, but within days, his family reported that he began speaking in tongues, unable to sleep, claiming the crown whispered to him at night. The man vanished soon after, and his home was abandoned. Villagers refused to touch it, calling it cursed. The invitation to darkness. So what are we to believe? Is the Serpent Crown just a story told to scare children? A metaphor for human greed and the corruption of power? Or is it a real relic, waiting in the sands for the next ambitious soul foolish enough to claim it? What we do know is this: every legend begins with a kernel of truth. And the crown has survived in stories across Sumerian, Akkadian, and Babylonian cultures for over 4,000 years. That alone suggests it was more than imagination. And if the warnings are true, if the crown indeed survives somewhere beneath Mesopotamia, then it may be the most dangerous relic mankind has ever known. Because the serpent does not die. It only waits. The unearthing. It was the summer of 2015, a blistering season in southern Iraq. The world's eyes were focused elsewhere, on wars, politics, and oil. But quietly, without public attention, a small group of archaeologists set out to excavate an unmarked site deep in the desert between Nasiriyah and Basra. This wasn't an official government expedition. It wasn't funded by universities. It was privately financed, rumored to be backed by a wealthy collector from Europe who had only one request: find the serpent. Arrival at the site. The team consisted of 6 members. Drive. Samir al-Haddad, a respected Iraqi historian. Evelyn Ross, a British archaeologist specializing in Mesopotamian artifacts. Omar Jassim, a local guide familiar with desert ruins. 2 hired laborers, whose names were never recorded. And a mysterious investor, representative, known only as Marcus. They set up camp near a cluster of dunes where satellite imaging had revealed unnatural formations, shapes that looked too symmetrical to be natural. Evelyn believed these were collapsed walls, possibly the outskirts of the lost city of Kishari. At first, the dig proceeded like any other. Tools scraped sand, drones scanned the area, fragments of pottery and broken bricks were unearthed. Spirits were high. But then, on the 3rd night, something strange happened. The hissing in the wind. Omar was the first to hear it. A faint, low hiss that seemed to come from the dunes. He dismissed it as wind passing through cracks in the sand. But the sound grew louder over the following nights, like thousands of snakes whispering just beyond the firelight. Evelyn wrote in her journal, it isn't just the sound. Ida the feeling. As if the desert is alive and watching us. None of us sleep well anymore. Even the camels they brought for transport became restless, refusing to approach the excavation pit. Discovery of the chamber. On the 7th day, they uncovered what looked like a stone staircase, descending into darkness. The air that flowed from below was stale, colder than the desert above. Excitement surged. This was exactly the kind of find archaeologists dreamed of. The stairs led to a sealed stone door. Its surface was carved with unfamiliar symbols, serpents coiled around human figures, their mouths open as if whispering secrets. In the center was an inscription written in Akkadian cuneiform: whoever disturbs the serpent shall wear its hunger. Marcus, the investor representative, grew impatient. He ordered the team to open the chamber, dismissing the warning as superstition. Against Samira Euro's protests, they broke the seal. What they found inside would haunt them forever. The crown revealed the chamber was small, no larger than a single-room tomb. At its center stood a stone pedestal. Resting upon it was the object that had drawn them all here, a golden crown, shaped like a serpent coiling upon itself. Its jeweled eyes red stones that seemed to glow faintly even in the torchlight fixed themselves on whoever dared look too long. Evelyn later described the moment in her notes, it wasn't like finding treasure. It was like being found by it. As though the crown knew us, recognized us, and was waiting. The laborers refused to touch it. Omar begged them to leave it where it was. But Marcus, obsessed with fulfilling his employer's demands, reached out with gloved hands and lifted the crown. The chamber grew unbearably cold. The torches flickered. And in the silence, every member of the team swore they heard the faint sound of hissing, though no snakes were present. The first night after they brought the crown back to the surface, securing it in a wooden crate. That night, no one slept. The air around the camp felt heavy, oppressive. Evelyn dreamed of rivers of blood. Samir reported hearing whispers in Akkadian, though he did not understand the words. The two laborers fled before dawn, leaving all their belongings behind. But the strangest change was in Marcus. The moment he held the crown, something in him shifted. He grew more aggressive, more demanding. His eyes seemed feverish, as if reflecting some hidden fire. He began wearing the crown in private, refusing to let anyone else touch it. By the third day, he stopped eating, muttering constantly under his breath. When confronted, he snarled at the others, claiming the crown was speaking to him that it had chosen him. The death of Omar. The breaking point came one night when Omar tried to steal the crown and bury it again. He believed it was cursed, that keeping it above ground would doom them all. But Marcus caught him. The rest of the team awoke to shouting. By the time they reached the campfire, Omar lay dead, his body twisted unnaturally as though crushed by some unseen force. Marcus stood over him, the crown gleaming on his head, his eyes wide and unblinking. A serpent protects its own, he whispered. Evelyn and Samir wanted to flee, but Marcus blocked their path. He claimed the crown had given him knowledge visions of Mesopotamia's lost empires, secrets buried for millennia, even glimpses of the future. He insisted they stay and continue digging, that the crown had much more to reveal. Visions of the past. Over the next several days, Evelyn recorded disturbing changes in Marcus. He began speaking fluent Akkadian, a language he had never studied. He described in vivid detail the reign of King Etana, recounting rituals no history book had ever mentioned. At one point, he drew a map in the sand, marking the locations of lost cities that modern archaeologists had yet to confirm. But the more he wore the crown, the more unstable he became. His body weakened, his skin pale, but his eyes burned with unnatural light. Evelyn wrote, it is as if the crown is feeding on him, draining him while filling him with something else. I fear the man we knew is already gone. The collapse of the expedition. By the second week, the camp was in chaos. Food spoiled overnight. Electronics malfunctioned without explanation. Even the desert seemed to change. Sandstorms rising without warning, shadows moving across the dunes with no source. Samir pleaded with Evelyn to leave while they still could. But Marcus, now consumed by the crown, would not let them go. He believed they had been chosen as witnesses to its awakening. One night, Samir attempted to smash the crown with a hammer. The tool shattered on impact, and Samir was thrown across the camp as though struck by invisible hands. His body was found lifeless the next morning. Now only Evelyn and Marcus remained. Evelina's escape. Evelina's final journal entry, recovered months later, is fragmented but chilling. A does not sleep. He whispers all night, sometimes in Akkadian, sometimes in something older. The crown is no longer gold. It pulses, alive, like flesh. The eyes follow me. I must leave. Tonight, when he sleeps if he sleeps I will run. If these pages are found, burn the crown. Never let it see the sun again. Evelyn vanished into the desert. Her fate remains unknown. Some claim she reached Baghdad, others that she was killed before she could return. What is certain is that when a Bedouin patrol discovered the abandoned camp weeks later, they found Marcus's body seated upright, the crown fused to his skull. His face was frozen in an expression of ecstasy and terror. The crown itself was gone. Whispers of a curse rumors spread quickly. Some believe the crown was recovered by Marcus Aureus' mysterious employer. Others say Evelyn took it with her. A darker version insists it returned to the sands on its own, waiting for the next soul foolish enough to claim it. But one thing is clear, every time the Serpent Crown emerges, death follows. The first rumors London, 2016. Only a year after the Nasiriyah dig, strange reports surfaced in London's black market antiquities trade. A man claiming to have possession of a Mesopotamian relic of immense power tried to sell it to a private buyer. The deal fell apart. The man, a Lebanese middleman known as Farid, was found dead days later in a warehouse near the Thames. No weapon was used. His body was twisted unnaturally, bones shattered as if crushed from within. Police dismissed it as gang violence, but those in the underground trade whispered otherwise. Evelyn Rosa's name reappeared. In these circles, some claimed she was still alive, moving from city to city under false identities. Others insisted she was the one trying to sell the crown, desperate to rid herself of its curse. But the truth remained hidden. The American interest by 2017, intelligence agencies had taken notice. Leaked documents later revealed that the CIA had intercepted encrypted communications referencing the crown. Phrases like o serpent inheritance and o voice of Edina appeared in transcripts. According to one analyst s report, o object is not simply an artifact. Witnesses claim it can induce visions, alter perception, and possibly affect the human nervous system. If true, this makes it not just historically significant but potentially weaponizable. Unconfirmed rumors suggest a covert American team was dispatched to northern Iraq in search of the crown. They never returned. Officially, their helicopter was lost in a sandstorm. Unofficially, survivors from nearby villages swore they saw a pillar of light erupt from the desert the night of the crash. The collector from Zurich. The most detailed account of the crown after 2015 comes from Zurich, Switzerland. In 2018, a reclusive billionaire named Anton Varga allegedly acquired the crown through shadowy intermediaries. Varga was no ordinary collector. He had spent decades amassing rare relics everything from Mayan codices to Egyptian funerary masks. But witnesses said he treated the serpent crown differently. He did not display it in glass or boast about its rarity. He locked it away, refusing to let even his closest advisors near it. Yet servants whispered of strange events inside his mansion, lights flickering at night with no cause. Varga speaking in unknown languages. Guests who attended private dinners leaving pale and shaken, some refusing to ever return. In January 2019, Varga vanished without a trace. His estate was seized by Swiss authorities. No crown was ever found. The cult of the serpent. Around the same time, videos began circulating on the dark web. Hooded figures, chanting in Akkadian, kneeling before what appeared to be a golden crown. They called themselves the children of Tiamat. To them, the serpent crown was not a relic but a divine gift, the last surviving fragment of the goddess Tiamat, mother of chaos in Mesopotamian mythology. One of their manifestos read, oath crown is not of man. It is of the first waters, of chaos before creation. To wear it is to become more than flesh. To deny it is to be consumed by it. Governments quickly dismissed the group as a fringe cult. But disappearances across the Middle East and Europe, archaeologists, historians, even diplomats suggested otherwise. The Scholera warning in 2020, a paper quietly circulated among academic circles, written by Dr. Karim Darian, an Assyriologist from Tehran. It was titled A Crown of the Serpent, an analysis of myth and material, drive. Darian argued that references to the crown could be found in multiple ancient texts, but always in fragments. In the Epic of Etana, where a king is lifted by an eagle to the heavens possibly symbolizing the Chronicles power. In Babylonian incantations warning of a tongue of the serpent that speaks in dreams. And in a Sumerian hymn describing a jewel-eyed crown that devours kings. Darian conclusion was chilling. This object, whether real or imagined, was feared by every civilization that recorded it. Not one story speaks of its Blasinga only of ruin. Months later, drive. Darian disappeared while attending a conference in Istanbul. His hotel room was left untouched. His laptop was gone. The crown in modern warfare. By 2021, whispers suggested the crown had changed hands again, this time among warlords in Syria. Several unverified reports claimed a militia leader began wearing it before battle, claiming it gave him visions that allowed him to anticipate enemy movements. Witnesses said his troops fought like men possessed, fearless and unyielding. But his reign was short. During one skirmish, the leader collapsed without cause. His men found his body rigid, his eyes burned black, the crown fused to his head. When they tried to remove it, the crown crumbled into dust. Or so they believed, for within weeks, another figure appeared wearing it, far away, in another land. Evelyn Ross returns, and then came the greatest twist of all. In late 2022, a journalist investigating stolen antiquities in Istanbul claimed to have interviewed a woman calling herself Evelyn Ross. She looked older, thinner, haunted but her eyes, he wrote, had a strange, unnatural brightness. Evelyn warned him not to pursue the crown, that it was not simply cursed but alive. It chooses, she told him. It waits for the desperate, the ambitious, the broken. It feeds on them. It will never stop until it finds the one it was meant for. The journalist tried to publish his account, but days later he was found dead in his apartment, his notes missing. Whether Evelyn truly survived, or whether the woman was an imposter, remains one of the greatest mysteries of the Chronicles modern history. The global obsession today, the Serpent Crown, remains unconfirmed by museums, governments, or official history. But to those who seek it, its legend is undeniable. From Baghdad to Berlin, from Washington to Beijing, powerful men and women whisper of its existence. Is it a weapon, a divine relic, an alien artifact, or a psychological curse amplified by human greed? What we know is this: every time the Serpent Crown surfaces, it leaves behind a trail of death, madness, and disappearance. And yet, people continue to hunt for it. The hunt for the Serpent Crown had spanned continents, crossed centuries, and claimed countless lives. From Sumerian kings to modern soldiers, from cults to billionaires, everyone who touched it met the same fate: obsession, corruption, and destruction. But the story doesn't end there. For in the 21st century, the crown became more than a relic. It became a mirror, reflecting humanity's deepest desires and fears. Theories of its origin. By 2023, scholars, journalists, and conspiracy theorists had put forward dozens of explanations for the crown. The divine relic theory: believers in Mesopotamian mythology insist the crown was forged in the chaos waters of Tiamat herself, a fragment of the goddess Aur's essence. To them, its powers are not supernatural but diviny, a link to creation, Aur's first breath. The alien artifact theory: others point to the strange materials reported in fragments of the crown, metals unknown to modern science, gemstones that refract light unnaturally. To them, the crown is not of Earth at all, but left behind by an ancient race mistaken for gods. The psychological weapon theory: skeptics argue the Chronicles effects are purely psychological. A masterpiece of ancient craftsmanship, yes, but one laced with toxins or electromagnetic properties that trigger hallucinations. In their view, the crown is no curse, just an early, terrifying experiment in mind control. The eternal symbol theory: finally, some suggest the crown doesn't exist physically at all. Instead, it's a myth reborn across eras, an archetype that surfaces whenever humanity hungers for power. The crown, in this theory, is not a thing but a story that infects the mind. Each theory has evidence. Each has flaws. None can explain every event. The last known sighting in April 2024, a grainy video appeared on an anonymous forum. It showed a dimly lit chamber, stone walls covered in Akkadian inscriptions. At the center sat a figure in ceremonial robes, holding the crown. The figure placed it on their head. For several seconds, nothing happened. Then the camera shook violently, and the video cut off. Investigators traced the IP address to southern Iraq, near Uruk, the very city where the Serpent Crown was first rumored to have been worn in antiquity. The forum account was deleted hours later. To this day, no one has verified the footage. Some say it was staged. Others believe it was the last moment the crown was ever recorded. The pattern of history: looking back, a disturbing pattern emerges. every time the crown surfaces, the world teeters on the edge of conflict. Civilizations rise around its myth, and collapse in its shadow. Those who claim it seek power, and are destroyed by it. One historian summarized it best. A Euro-ode serpent crown is not the story of a single artifact, it is the story of human ambition. We chase it because we cannot resist. And it destroys us because we cannot control what we desire. The warnings in ancient texts re-examining Mesopotamian writings reveals something chilling. Many texts don't describe the chrono-s power they warn against it. A Sumerian proverb states, "A who wears the serpent tongue shall never speak truth again." A Babylonian lament calls it ode fire that wears flesh. Even later Persian chronicles describe kings who dreamed of a crown that consumed their sleep until death. It seems every age tried to warn the next. And every age ignored the warning. The legacy today, whether the serpent crown still exists, is uncertain. Some claim it was buried deep in the desert by those who feared it. Others say it sits in a vault beneath one of the world's great museums, unacknowledged but guarded. And some insist it still moves in the shadows, traded among elites who dare not speak of it publicly. But its legacy remains. Even now, researchers, treasure hunters, and secret societies scour Mesopotamian ruins, hoping to find it. Movies, novels, and internet theories spread its name further every year. The serpent crown may be hidden, but its influence is everywhere. The final question at the heart of the Serpent Crown story lies one haunting question: is it real? Perhaps it was once forged by kings in Mesopotamia, passed down in bloodlines and stolen in wars. Perhaps it is nothing more than a myth, a story told around fires, exaggerated with each telling until it became legend. Or perhaps it is both, a real object, magnified by the human mind into something larger than life. Because whether or not the crown still sits in some forgotten tomb, the truth is undeniable: humanity believes in it. And belief, as history shows, can be as powerful as any artifact. Closing words. Narrator voice: the serpent crown of Mesopotamia may never be found. But its tale endures, reminding us of the dangers of unchecked ambition. Every age has its crowns. Every age has its serpents. And every age has those who cannot resist them. The crown is not gone. It lives in the stories we tell, in the hunger for power that drives empires, in the shadows of history where myth and truth intertwine. And perhaps, even now, it waits silent, watching for the next hand bold enough to claim it.